Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my recap and review of the 2017 Golden Globe Awards. So Hollywood's craziest night just took place, and things got pretty crazy tonight, I have to say. A lot of surprises that I was not expecting, a lot of controversial speeches and statements made, so let's just jump right in. We're going to start this off with a review of the really wild and weird and overall underwhelming red carpet. So it's difficult to find people dressed all that well, but we did have two beauties in yellow tonight. I thought Reese Witherspoon looked lovely, as did Viola Davis. She just really knows how to pick the bright popping colors against her beautiful skin tone, and then the embellishments on the dress were just gorgeous. I thought she looked phenomenal. I also thought that Sofia Vergara was stunning in this beautifully embellished, a little bit revealing, a little bit risque dress that she wore, but it fit to character for Sofia and she looked great. Janelle Monáe went an adventurous route and I thought it was fantastic. I just loved that kind of kooky, kind of crazy, but right in trend for Janelle Monáe dress that she rocked at the Golden Globes. I also thought Julia Louis-Dreyfus looked nice as well in that black and white ensemble. It was pretty simple with a little bit of flair and it suited her well. As for the men, we were back to more or less just black and white standard tuxes almost across the board. But some standouts for me that broke the mold and looked really good at doing it were Ryan Gosling. I always love a white coat. I know it's super 70s, but I think it looks really sleek and he rocked it perfectly. Plus the whole aesthetic really kind of fit in with the La La Land vibe, so I enjoyed that. Diego Luna looked fantastic, as he usually does. I think he has a great sense of style. He's adorable, and I think the suit he wore here was really fantastic. And then Justin Timberlake, another gray-black combo that I thought he pulled off so well. And unfortunately, he kind of sucked all the style out of Jessica Biel because she looked like a disaster. I mean, she's kind of kicking off our worst dress of the list because she just looked such a fool with the weird strap top and then that kind of hodgepodge skirt with the stupid flowers. It was bad. Really bad. Another mismatched couple, Ryan Reynolds, looked good, nothing spectacular, just kind of the same old, same old. But then we move on over to Miss Blake Lively, who is drop dead gorgeous, but unfortunately needs somebody to teach her how to dress a little bit better. Although the dress is black, it's surprisingly unforgiving. It makes her look way bigger than I think she really is. And then that fabric just clings in all the wrong spaces. It adds heft. It's like this weird velvety mess. And then the gold embellishments are too bulky up here, and then you add those little weird pockets. It just didn't work, Blake. I'm sorry. A couple of actresses that I say, good for trying. Unfortunately, your weird little dress just didn't work out. Felicity Jones, I don't really know what this was. A lot of actresses are trying to do a throwback to Mom of Little House on the Prairie. But this wasn't working for me in any sense of the word. Same thing with Zoe Saldana. What did the poor flamingo population have to do to get this dress made? Because, whew, I don't know what she was thinking with that bow in the middle. It just didn't work at all. A complete disaster, actually, and I don't even know how she was led onto the red carpet looking like that. Winona Ryder, you wore this really weird fabric on your dress. Otherwise, it would have maybe just been a standard black dress, but it was this horrible, horrendous, wrinkled fabric that looked like you went shopping in the discount bin at the mall for your prom dress. Some more horrible, simple black dresses for you. First up, we have Monica Bellucci. It looks kind of like old Victorian Gothic style, but it just doesn't work. The fit on her body is just so strange. Where they gather the fabric is weird. And then that pattern on the dress is so old and tired. And Rachel Bloom, this looks like evil fairy tale. I'm not sure if you just snuck into Once Upon a Time and snatched one of their costumes, but this was just a very odd choice. The dress itself is kind of ballerina, but when you stick the black lace over the top of the dress with those cheap looking stones all over and through here, it was just a cheap mess. Sophie Turner, I don't really know what this is. It is really strange. Like, I don't even know what to make of the dress you wore. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about it because it's just so strange and really ill-conceived. Sarah Jessica Parker, for somebody that built your career on Sex and the City and being fashionable and just kind of being a fashion icon on that show, you come to award shows looking a fool far too often, and the Golden Globes this year was no different. This dress was just horrible. Like, really, really bad. Haley Steinfeld, this was just wrong on every level. I think the color is pretty, so if maybe you can find a better dress in that color, it might work. But the sleeves were weird. This mesh up here was just really strange. The cut right here was weird. The entire way the bottom flowed down with that kind of part in the middle to make it almost look like it was pants. It all just was a mess. Like, this was... whew. And then Anna Kendrick, your dress could have been pretty much solved if you had just cut this shoulder thing off. I think the dress from here down looks fine. It suits your body. You have the body type that can actually pull something like this off. But that strap is just so awkwardly placed. And actually the like two little boobs on your dress were strange and a bit ill-conceived. As for the guys, Cuba Gooding Jr., I applaud you for trying something a little bit different. But just buy something in the proper size next time. The way that this was hugging your stomach and hugging like your upper thigh area, not only did it look uncomfortable for you, it was very uncomfortable on my eyes. So I applaud trying out that plaid, but just buy the proper size next time. And then we have J.J. Abrams with the exact opposite problem. He was just swimming in the tux that he was wearing. His pants actually were like creased and balled up at the bottom because they were way too long for him and they were way too wide for him. And the jacket just had no definition at all. I mean, don't they have tailors over there in LA, J.J. Abrams? And then Jonah Hill looked quite dapper. I don't think he quite pulled off the whole tie with no button with a tux thing. I wasn't really feeling that. But the most egregious thing is putting on this really nice tux and then I look down and you have white tennis shoes on. Are you kidding, Jonah Hill? Wearing tennis shoes with a tux is never acceptable, but come on, this is an award show. So on to the actual show. Let's start off with the host of the evening, and that was Jimmy Fallon this year. I thought Jimmy Fallon did well. I think the opening montage with the whole La La Land sound was wonderful. I loved everybody's small cameos and small roles there. I think it was a really, really strong opening number. And then his opening monologue was also funny. It was very politically heavy and took a couple of jabs there at Batman v Superman, but I think overall he kept it lighthearted enough and bouncy enough that it remained fun. Not to mention, he showed you how it's done, Mariah Carey. When you have sound problems, guess what? That mic is still working. That means you improvise. You go on. You do something. But after that, we didn't really see much of Jimmy Fallon, so it was kind of like, hey, he's here. He might pop up a couple of times. I don't know. But I think he was good overall. He didn't leave a huge impression, but he had a really strong opening to the show. And that's a huge part for the host, is to start us off on a good note. What else is everybody going to be talking about today? That is La La Land. It set a record for winning the most Golden Globes in a single night with 7 of them. And by winning 7, it swept. It won every single category it was nominated for. So I know that this was the favorite coming into tonight and into award season, but I have to say I wasn't anticipating a clean sweep. So which of these were well deserved? I think that it definitely deserved Best Comedy or Musical. I think it deserved Best Actor in a Comedy or Musical. It definitely deserved Best Original Score. Now the next two, I think, are up for debate. First, we have Best Director. I think that Damien Chazelle put a lot of work into this film. It was like a pipe dream of his. He worked for many years and did Whiplash just to kind of get his foot in the door to get this film made. So I have a ton of respect for Damien Chazelle. And overall, I'm not mad that he won. I think he deserved this award more or less. But I think the best directed film was actually Moonlight with Barry Jenkins. I also think Tom Ford directed his film flawlessly. So I would have liked to maybe have seen one of those two win, but I don't fault Damien Chazelle. I do think he did a really good job. And then for Best Original Song, let's be honest, pretty much any music-related category through award season, you can just pencil La La Land in as the winner. Unfortunately, my favorite song from La La Land, Audition, didn't even get nominated, and if it had been nominated, I would have went with that one to win. But City of Stars is a solid song, but I think How Far I'll Go from Moana is a better song. So while I think there might have been more deserving music in here since it was City of Stars, I wasn't surprised and thus wasn't too disappointed with the choice. And then there are 2 awards I think La La Land just completely robbed the other nominees. The first of which is Best Actress in a Comedy or Musical. Emma Stone was good, she was solid, she delivered what she needed to deliver. However, I think the whole Meryl wins every year, she's won too much, overrated, blah 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 blah, has kind of hurt Meryl Streep, because in no way do I think Emma Stone's performance even touched what Meryl Streep did in Florence Foster Jenkins. For one, this was a comedy and a musical with Florence Foster Jenkins. For 2, when it comes to singing, I think Emma Stone was serviceable, but by no means was she really the appropriate singer for these big musical numbers that she was asked to do. And Meryl Streep, well, she was supposed to sound bad, so... And she just brought so much more depth, so much humor, so much reality, so much heart into her role. I'm actually shocked Emma Stone won over the likes of even Annette Bening. So this one completely took me by surprise, and I don't think it was a deserved win. And then we move over to Best Screenplay. This one is actually an egregious rob for me. I think that La La Land actually had the worst screenplay of the 5 nominees. I am just kind of stunned that it won. Out of all the things you can praise La La Land for, I don't think the screenplay is actually one of the things it does exceptionally well. I just can't believe that they gave this award to La La Land over the others, and I think this is the one that it definitely didn't deserve, and I honestly hope it does not win at the Oscars. That'll be a huge mistake. And the other moment I think everyone will be talking about today is Meryl Streep's acceptance speech for her Lifetime Achievement Award. First of all, Viola Davis introduced Meryl Streep and gave the award to her, so it was kind of just a whole lot of love for me on that stage. One of my favorite women in Viola Davis giving a Lifetime Achievement Award to one of my other favorite women, Meryl Streep, so I just loved that pairing. But I also think Viola Davis gave a wonderful introduction to Meryl Streep. It was a completely unique, a different take on introducing someone, but again, she said what we all already know, and then she brought something so personal into the fold that I just loved Viola Davis's presentation. Meryl Streep is getting a lot of love, but I think also a bit of backlash for her acceptance speech. I happen to be on the side that thinks it was really fantastic. I love that she brought everybody in that room in on the fold and just pointed out, hey, racial diversity is one thing, but let's just look at the country of origin diversity we have here in Hollywood, that we have in this country, period. And then to just bring it to disabilities and talk about the divisiveness that has been going on, I thought it was a well-crafted, very impactful, very powerful speech from Meryl Streep. I did see a tweet from YouTuber Grace Randolph that pointed out the flaw in her speech, and I will say I'm going to agree with Grace on this one. I think she had a bit of a misstep when she called out football and MMA, saying that those 2 things are not art. I think that's a little bit of an elitist thing to say from Meryl. Although to an extent I do agree, because sports and art are generally viewed as 2 separate entities. So nobody's really asking sports to be art. They're their own form of entertainment themselves. But the way it came off sounded very condescending to people who like football and mixed martial arts. But outside of that misstep, the speech was wonderful. So the last 2 OMG moments are plays on words. The first one happened twice in the evening. First, it happened on the red carpet in an interview with Pharrell Williams. And then it happened again when Michael Keaton was presenting an award where people were saying hidden fences. First of all, journalist, shame on you. That's horrible journalism to not even know the name of a film when you walk up to somebody. So that's just horrible journalism in and of itself. Second of all, Michael Keaton, Isn't there a teleprompter right in front of your face that says what the word is? Two films that have gotten huge critical praise and have been all over the place, that are nominated multiple times this evening, and people couldn't get the name of Hidden Figures right. And on top of that, they mashed it together with one of two other black films that made an impact. Ooh, not a good look. And the other was just Sofia Vergara not able to say annual and just like continually saying anal over and over. At first I thought it was intentional, but then I realized what she was presenting and quickly realized, oh, she just can't say it. As for a couple of sly moments that work their way in there, they're not going to be big headline-grabbing news stories, but Denzel Washington killed me. I mean, I was just dying every single time they panned to his face. It was hilarious. I loved that he was just having none of it. And then that like sneaky random kiss that Ryan Reynolds and Andrew Garfield had as Ryan Gosling was walking up to the stage was completely random. If you didn't watch Back Behind the People, you completely missed it. But I'm like, Hollywood, can we get on creating a film that casts Garfield and Reynolds as love interests? Please? So on to the actual awards and winners of those awards. So I did pretty well with my predictions. I got 11 out of 14 correct with my predictions. If you want to go back and watch that prediction video, you'll see the proof. But we started the night off with a huge shocker when Aaron Taylor Johnson from Nocturnal Animals won for Best Supporting Actor over Mahershala Ali from Moonlight. I don't think anyone saw that one coming. I do think Aaron Taylor Johnson just completely transformed into his role and was amazing. But Mahershala Ali had just a subtle, complex, beautiful performance that I do think he deserved the win. I'm not mad that Aaron Taylor Johnson won because I also loved his performance. And I think that this category is just strong across the board. But wow, what a shocker. I also personally was a little bit shocked that Isabelle Huppert took the award for Best Actress in a Drama over Natalie Portman. This is the Hollywood Foreign Press, so I guess I shouldn't be too shocked. But for a foreign actress to go in a foreign language film and win for Best Lead Actress was a huge shock, a welcomed one. I haven't seen the film, so I can't talk on the performance, but it's always nice to see a nice diversity of cast here. I do think Natalie Portman still has a shot at the Oscar, so we'll see how this one starts to pan out as we get closer, but now we have a really interesting race. Elsewhere, I was extremely happy that Viola Davis took home the award for Best Supporting Actress. I'll be shocked if she doesn't win the Oscar. I might actually riot because her performance probably was my favorite acting performance from male or female this year. So I'm just happy to see her get her due. Animated feature, I mean, it's already kind of a foregone conclusion that Zootopia is winning all of the awards. I'm really hoping by some slim chance Kubo and the Two Strings takes home the Oscar. Not only because I think it's pretty much a perfectly crafted film, period. I think Laika deserves their due. They're not getting accepted from mainstream audiences, and I want them to actually have the awards to back up the studio because they've done great work with every single film, and honestly, I think Kubo and the Two Strings is their crowning achievement. So it's sad to me that they're not really getting the recognition I think they deserve. But it's Disney. They're a powerhouse, a juggernaut. So I knew Zootopia was going to win. Just holding out slight hope for Kubo. Expected, but still disappointing that Casey Affleck continues to go unscathed and win award after award. Like I said, I can't really be happy for him throughout the entirety of award season. I won't be rooting for him in any of the awards, but I'll just have to deal with it because we already know he's got the Oscar in the bag. But I was very happy that Moonlight won for Best Drama. It completely deserved that award, and if it hadn't won for Best Drama, Moonlight would have actually been shut out on the evening, which would have been a complete travesty. So I was just hoping and praying that it was going to win that award, and it did. So this sets the stage. Now the road to the Oscars starts to amp up. We are just a couple of weeks away from Oscar nominations being released, and then it all will start kind of putting itself into place with the BAFTAs and the SAG Awards leading into the Oscars late February. I think that tonight was actually enjoyable with some of the surprises. Of course, whenever any one film really just dominates the entire evening, it does become predictable and you do lose a little bit of interest in the awards, and I think La La Land has actually already started to receive backlash. I think the backlash is just going to intensify amongst the online community because that's what happens when things get popular. But I'm hoping the Oscars get a little bit more competitive and it's not just a one-horse race, but we'll see. As for tonight, I thought it was a fun award show. I think it was entertaining for the full 3 hours. I was never quite as bored as Denzel Washington. And checking my watch, hoping for this to end. So that is my recap and review of the 2017 Golden Globe Awards. Did you watch the awards? What do you think was the biggest surprise? Who do you think got snubbed? And what were your most memorable moments from the evening? Also, what did you think of everybody's fashions? Did you also find them pretty underwhelming? Let me know either in the comment section down below or hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!